class, today's lesson is over section 1.1, points, lines, and planes. Our objective today will be to model and interpret images of points, lines, and planes using key terms and symbols. So, these three terms are actually undefined terms. This means that points, lines, and planes do not have a formal definition in the geometry vocabulary. These are the three most basic things that you will find in geometry, and these three words are actually going to be used to describe everything else in geometry. So if you kind of want to think of it, it's like the word the in the English language. We don't have a formal definition for the, but we use the all the time whenever we're talking. So you must understand these three words in order to understand everything else that we're going to learn about this year. So for each word, we're going to talk about what it looks like, the description, how we name it, and an example. Our first term is point. Now points look like just what you would think, like a point on your graph is just a circle. It does not matter how big or small you make your points, or even what shape you make your points. The description of a point is a location, no specific size or shape. That's why you see that I made a smaller circle, a bigger circle, and a star. All three of these are points, they're just marking a location. Points are going to be named by a capital letter. So let's look at an example. This right here is point A, and this is point B. It's very important that you label these correctly. Our next term is line. A line is just a segment extending in both directions. The description of a line is that it's made up of points and it has no specific thickness or width. Now to name a line we have two options. You can either use a lowercase script letter or you can pick 2 points from the line. So here we have a line. The 2 points on the line are A and B, and then we have the script letter L over to the side. So I could call this line line L, or I could call it line AB. Whenever you name a line by points, you're going to write both of the points down, then you're going to draw a line over the top. Make sure you have the arrows extending in both directions. Our final term is plane. Now a plane, it can be a 3D type of figure. If you want to think of a plane, it could be like the top of your desk. The floor is a plane. The wall is a plane. A window could be a plane. A plane is a flat surface made up of points. So any flat surface that you could think of could be a plane. A plane in geometry is going to extend indefinitely. So even though your desktop is only a certain size, the desktop plane would go on forever and ever and ever, even though you can't see it. We also have 2 ways to name a plane. You can name it by a capital script letter, or you can pick 3 points from the plane. So, just to let you know, script letters are just a fancy way to write letters. You can write cursive letters too if you would like. So let's go back to our original example of a plane. I'm going to label this plane K. So just like how I wrote line L up here, I would just write plane K with the fancy K. Over here under example, I show you examples of 2 different planes. Now to name these planes, I do not have capital script letters, so I'm just going to pick 3 points from each plane to name it. We can name this pink plane, plane EOB, and let's name this green plane, plane FAC. Now let's talk about collinear points. Let's look at the word collinear. We have co at the beginning, and we could see the word line here too. Technically, you can also see the word ear, but that really doesn't have anything to do with our lesson. So, the word co. Another word with co in it would be co-worker. A co-worker is someone that works with you. So if we have a word that has co and line, that's going to be something that works on a line with you, if you want to think of it like that. So collinear points are going to be points that lie on the same line. So let's try an example. Remember that when I ask you to try an example, you should stop the video, try these examples on your own, then start playing the video again to see if you got your answers correct. So the directions say, are the following points collinear? If so, name the line on which they lie. So starting with points A, B, and C. These 3 points all fall on the same line, so yes, they are collinear. If I wanted to name the line on which they lie, I could call it line N, or I could call it line BC. Next, A, B, C, and D. These do not all fall on the same line. The third one, A, G, and F. These all fall on the same line. We could call it line M, or we could just pick 2 of the points and call it line AG. A, G, E, and F also all fall on the same line, and again you could call it line M or you could call it line EF. Just pick 2 of the letters. And finally C, D, and E. These do not fall on the same line. C and D fall on this line, and point E falls on line M. So we're going to put no. Now I want you to name line N in 3 other ways. So we've already named it with our lowercase script letter. That means our other option is to name it by picking 2 points. So you could do any combination of the 2 points. I just picked line AB, line BC, and line AC. You could also have line BA, CB, or CA. The order of the letters of the 2 points does not matter. Coplanar points and lines. This is going to be just like collinear, except now we're dealing with planes. So these are going to be points and lines that lie on the same plane. Let's try an example. The directions say, are the following points coplanar in this picture? So first in this picture, let's identify all the different planes. We have this bottom plane that Y falls on. We have this top plane up here. We have the left plane, the right plane, the front plane, and the back plane. So there are actually 6 different planes in this picture. Now looking at the points X and Y. X is falling between the left and the bottom plane, and Y is on the bottom plane. They both fall on the bottom plane, so yes, they are coplanar. Now let's look at W and Z. W is between the left and the back, and Z is on the back plane. So yes, they are coplanar because they both fall on that back plane. W and Y. Y is on the bottom plane, and W is not on the bottom plane, so no, these are not coplanar. W, Y, and Z are also not going to be coplanar because we already know that W and Y are on 2 different planes. Now let's see if the following lines are coplanar. We have 3 lines. Line S is on the top back, line L is on the bottom back, and line T is on the top right. S and T. Well, lines S and T are both on the top plane, so that makes them coplanar. S and L. S and L both fall on that back plane, so yes, those lines are coplanar. And finally, line T and line L. T is on the top and L is on the bottom, and they do not fall on the same plane. So they are not coplanar. The last thing that we're going to talk about is what happens when we have any 2 points out there in space. So through any 2 points there is blank line. Well, anytime you draw 2 points on your paper, you can always draw one line going through those 2 points. The next one says through any 3 non-collinear points there is blank plane. So in order to draw a line you need 2 points. In order to draw a plane we need 3 points. So as long as you have 3 points drawn, you can draw a plane going through those 3 points. That's going to be all for today. Don't forget to fill out your WSQ. Bye.